next to White Discomfort and Paul Bunyan's axe.
I'd love to get my hands on that axe.
The MPD. Good morning, Minneapolis.
Dang it, close?
Nope,
No.
it's Minneapolis, not Mankato. Good morning, Minneapolis.
All right.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a special guest today. My name is Toussaint Morrison, and this is
Justin Jones.
And we are hosting Good Morning Minneapolis, brought to you by Onsite. In obvious news today is Bring Your White Friend to Work Day. So I brought my white friend Justin.
Hey, so happy to be your white friend.
Hey, I'm happy that you're...
It's one of the simple pleasures in life.
It's one of the simple ones. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
All right.
And the Minnesota Timberwolves made a brief appearance in the playoffs, and you would have thought that they won the championship title based on the way Minnesotans reacted.
Yes.
I mean, we take our sports very seriously, especially when it comes to anything resembling a playoff appearance. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a church league dodgeball game or, you know, the Masters League water polo at the YWCA. Yeah. Minnesotans will bleed for their team.
And celebrate the Timberwolves did, so much it got the attention of one Shaquille O'Neal.
Come on, man. Minnesota, downtown Minnesota going crazy right now, Kenny.
Downtown Minnesota. Never heard of her. Wow.
Yep, The Lost City of Downtown Minnesota, a new series coming to the History Channel this fall.
Or on Twin Cities PBS, The Buried City of Downtown Minnesota, next to White Discomfort and Paul Bunyan's axe.
I'd love to get my hands on that axe.
A lot of people would, but it's next to White Discomfort, so very few look for it. The Minneapolis Police Department was back in the headlines, and no, not for killing anyone, just for invading the homes of people of color. Kara Levin writes.
The staff of the Minneapolis Civil Rights Office of Police Conduct Review found that the target of all 29 no-knock warrants executed by Minneapolis police during the period was a person of color.
No knock.
Who's there?
From the perspective of the MPD, certainly no white people.
In other words, the MPD conducted no no-knocks on any white residents in Minneapolis. The MPD, to protect and serve with compassion.
For white people. Kara Levin continues.
Early this month, Mayor Jacob Frey enacted a new policy officially prohibiting MPD from executing no-knock search warrants in all but emergency situations.
And this is what we would call watered-down policy. Actually prohibiting the cops from no-knocks would mean just that. However, notice how he not so slickly involved in all but emergency situations. It kind of reminds you of, I feared for my life, or I had to make a split-second life-or-death decision. Police can shimmy their way out of this language all the time. The restrictions for no-knock warrants were already things that would be considered emergencies.
That Jacob Frey, he's so good with words. I just love a good anxious, avoidant political leader.
With a knack for lying. He's a talented young man. Speaking of watered down policy and law,
the Stand Your Ground bill is going to the Senate.
If you're not familiar with the Stand Your Ground law, it essentially says it's admissible to use deadly force any place in Minnesota and any time a person subjectively believes their life to be threatened, except against peace officers and law enforcement. Wow, that's convenient for cops, isn't it?
It's important to note that this is the same law responsible for taking the life of Trayvon Martin and exonerating his killer, George Zimmerman.
This is also terrifying because subjectively believes their life to be threatened is what cops use all the time after murdering civilians and will now apply to everybody. Justin, did you know that just a few years ago, Minnesota was rated as one of the most unwelcoming states in the country?
You know what, Toussaint, I did not know that, and it looks like the Senate's trying to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Well, in the vein of holding on to things for too long, you better break out the good Pyrex for the hot dish and find a zipper bag for the beer bomb because we're not partying in St. Paul this summer. We're heading elsewhere, Toussaint.
Yes, many St. Paul festivals are canceled this year. The Star Tribune writes.
Many festival organizers are citing raising security prices by the city's police department as well as other new regulations for the moving and cancellations, the publication reported.
For the annual Ramsey County Fair Parade, security costs went up by $10,000 since the last parade in 2019.
Well, it looks like St. Paul's pricing the fun out of St. Paul. That's a classic case of high standard sabotage.
And who said the police weren't getting defunded, Justin?
Man, they got a good gig going on over there. I mean, did you see those full and half day rates?
Yeah, I mean, you thought you were paying too much for that wedding DJ. Wait till you see what the St. Paul police cost for security. And they'll hire just about anyone.
Wow, dude, I just got an email saying I'm hired and I didn't even apply.
You didn't apply for the job?
Absolutely not. No. My anxiety's way too high as it is. Me with a gun running around the streets?
They really will take anybody.
In U.S. national news, according to a report by Politico, a leaked draft document written by Justice Samuel Alito suggests that the Supreme Court will vote to overturn Roe v. Wade, the landmark case that made abortion legal nationwide.
Politico reports that Alito wrote, "The Constitution makes no reference to abortion, and no such right is implicitly protected by any constitutional provision." What does this mean? It means that even on this show, as we stand on our mountain of satirical altruism, we don't have a means to address just how horrifying the ramifications of this decision are. So we have to sit and wait for a room majority occupied by white men to make a decision that will undoubtedly historically reverberate for decades and centuries to come. And that'll do it for us at Good Morning Minneapolis. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is brought to you by Onsite Public Media. My name is Toussaint Morrison, and this is
Justin Jones.
And thank you so much for being here, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
How'd you like it?
This was amazing. It was great.
Yeah. Justin, what's the best place to get a burger at?
The best place?
One of them.
One. Well, there's like 20, but
He's a food aficionado if you didn't know this.
I would say Baby Zito.
Baby Zito.
Baby Zito.
Okay. Never heard of
Burgers,
it.
ice cream, check it out.
Will do.
It's good.
All right, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.